Hi, this is Ray with Easy Simple Mechanic, and today we're going to take a look and see what happened to this Tundra. As you can see, the front suspension is all the way on the ground, so we got to get under there, figure out what's going on, and see what we need to do to get it back on the road. Let's get started. Okay, so we got this Tundra here, and as you can see, we have no clearance in here on this side, and on this side we have a lot of clearance. So let's get this in the air and see what's going on. So we got this wheel off here, and as you can see, it's a coilover shock, which is a strut. But if you look down here, you will see that it is just broken off at the bottom. So we're gonna have to replace that strut. Actually, we'll go ahead and replace both struts. Okay, so then all we have to do now is take off these 4 bolts up here on top, if we can get to them. So we'll just see if we can get these on there. These 2 front ones we can get to. I don't know about those back ones. We may have to get those anyway. Now those bolts have a lock washer and a flat washer on them. All right. Well, then we can just work the shock down, and out it comes. Okay, so there's our shock. Now we'll just do the same to the other side, and we'll go see if we can track down some parts. The first thing we want to note here is that the old shock had a tapered portion to this part of the strut, which means that the bottom part here was narrower than the top part. Now the new one that I got has a stiffer piece of steel here, which is a shaft that has the same thickness all the way through. So hopefully this one will hold up better than the stock original one that was there. So these are hopefully a little bit better. And then the other thing is we notice is that this truck had a lift. It looks like maybe an inch and a half or 2 inches of lift. So we got to remove this bracket off of this strut and put it onto this one here. Okay, so let's get this guy off of here. So you can't get any wrench, any box end or anything on there off of there, so just gonna have to use the old box end wrench. Now we have to get a pry bar or something and loosen those. Maybe we just go like that. There we go. Okay, so that's all of those. Now we'll just take them all off. Now you'll notice that we're not getting any pressure from the spring on these, so it won't hurt you to go ahead and take these off. This cut goes over the top of the portion that holds the shock. As you can see, this one here has the shock and the spring are being held by this bottom plate. So it won't hurt you to go ahead and pull those off. There's no tension on that spring. Now, for some reason, these things had a left and a right. I really haven't been able to see much of a difference other than possibly the clocking. If we look at the bushings there, those need to be in the same position when you put these here on top. So where these go in on top, then the clocking of it needs to be the same. That's why I set them up the same way, so that when I put them on, I put this on the same way so that we can have these clocked the same. Yeah, because there was a left and a right for these. So let's torque these bolts up, and let's see if we can get them torqued. Okay, click, click. Click, click. That one's torqued. Click, click. Click, click. And once you get a feel for how tight things should be, it's pretty good, because when I took these off, I kind of had an idea of what it took to get them loose. So I kind of went back with the amount of force that I had to put to take them off. I used that to tighten these, because you can't get a torque wrench on those. So let's get this shock back on the truck. Okay, let's see if we can get this new strut back in there. Let's okay, right now I'm just gonna try and get one of these started so it won't fall back out. What I figure is we'll leave those loose because we're gonna have to get this bottom in, and it may require some movement. And then once we get the bottom in, we'll go ahead and tighten those up. Let's see if we can get the bottom on. Now let's put you guys down to the bottom so you can see what I'm doing at the bottom. Well, what I found, those the front end alignment bolts that hold the control arm were too tight. I couldn't get one of them off, so I don't think we need to take it off anyway. I'm gonna just, this is pretty close, I'm just gonna try and get a pry bar in there and try and get this lined up and get it popped in there and see if we can't do that. But I think as leverage, what I may do is just use this torsion bar here as leverage. Now there it goes. Okay, that looks like it went in. It's a little twisted though, so we're gonna have to get that lined up. There it is. It's in there. Now we'll see if we can get this bolt in there. And we didn't have to loosen the alignment shims on there, and now we got our little torsion bar deal in there. Now we can go ahead and tighten up those on top. So I'm not going to bore you with going back up there, but we'll tighten those up and then we'll come down and get the rest of this stuff on. Yeah, and don't forget to put some Loctite on these bolts, especially the ones that go up from the bottom, because those could come out and fall on the ground. So we got some Loctite on all the bolts, the one going into the little strut, torsion bar link, and the nut, the bolt that goes all the way through the bottom, on the bottom right here on the other side for the nut goes, and then on the bolt that goes in here the bolt that goes in here on the torsion bar, the 2 bolts that go in the bottom, and the nut that goes on the shaft for the shock. Okay, so we had to put this jack on the bottom because with that new strut on there, it's got too much pressure to be able to get that lower bolt in there, or this anti-sway bar in there. So we'll just lift this up some. Right about there. Let's see if we can get that lined up. It looks like that that little support for that thing got kind of bent, so we're gonna have to try and straighten that out some. So go like that. Okay. We're done. We'll put the wheels on. We'll let her down, and we'll torque the lug nuts on the wheels once it's on the ground. So we'll get them torqued. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this episode for the Toyota Tundra, the change of the front struts. Hopefully you get something out of that. Please like, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.